Do you guys remember like a week ago when the Kings were the second team in the NHL to secure a playoff spot? And it was awesome. And at the time, they could have potentially secured their division and the conference, which they have never done in the history of the entire club. Well, it's looking like the history of the club is going to remain the same because they lost 3 games in a row on this road trip and against teams that aren't even that good. We start with Nashville, who is in the first wildcard spot, the Wild, who is battling for the second playoff spot with the Avalanche, and then the Winnipeg Jets, who aren't even in contention to be in the playoffs. Those are the teams you guys lose to after beating the Stars and the Chicago Blackhawks and the Rangers and the Capitals. Like, are you freaking kidding me? These are the teams you lose to. Wow. So it's eerily reminiscent of last season where the last 10 or 15 games that the Kings needed to win, they just didn't. And unlike last year, it's fine because we've clinched our playoff spot. But home ice and so many other great things are on the line. And the Kings just fell short. And that's slightly concerning because come playoffs, I don't want to have the Stanley Cup on the line and just fall short. So tonight's game was 4-1, which sounds worse than it is because the last goal was, of course, an empty net goal. So 3-1, still not good considering for the majority of the game, the first 2 periods, the Kings were outshooting them by a margin of 3-1 consistently. 3-1, guys. And that's just actual shot on goal, not attempted shots on goal. That's ridiculous. That you can outshoot a team that much, which admittedly is what the Kings do all the time. They outshoot and just hope that crashing the net, one of those rebounds is going to go in. And that's fine, except that you need more of your shots to go in than you let in. So the first period, crushing them. I mean, the first 3 shots were the Kings because 40 seconds in, the Kings were on the power play. But of course, we were 0 for 19 after that one on the power play in the last 7 games. Pretty sure it's 7 games that the Kings have not scored on the power play. So nothing happened there. The Jets came back and got their own power play, and so then the shots were 3-3. But then after that, the Kings shot the next 9 shots on goal. They were out shooting them, I think it was 12-3. They're by a stupidly large margin by the end of the first period. The Jets couldn't set up anything. They didn't have a shot on goal for literally the middle 10 minutes of the frame. The Kings were completely dominating and just couldn't get the puck in the net. So, of course, come the second period, they continue to do that. They had to kill off like 9 seconds, 10 seconds of a penalty because the Kings took their sweet-ass time to touch up on the puck at a penalty that they had at the end of the first period. But, of course, immediately after that, the Kings completely dominate the first bit of the first period all the way up until they get a power play and... Wait, what's that? The Kings scored on a power play? Oh my god! It was amazing, and it was so exciting to see them finally capitalize on a shot, and, you know, up 1-0, it's great, and it's Andrei Kopitar, and it's a beautiful shot. It comes after a lot of sustained pressure in the Winnipeg Jets zone, which is pretty much what the Kings had been doing the entire game. A lot of sustained pressure. They can't quite make this play. It goes out. The Jets are kind of trying to reset. Doughty gets the puck to Kopitar. He's in the zone, and he has Carter streaming down the center, completely open, and so the goaltender, Pavlik's position is just a little off because he thinks that maybe Kopitar is going to try and set up a play with Carter down the middle. He doesn't. Kopitar whips the puck at this amazing angle into the back of the net, and it's gorgeous. Doughty gets a secondary assist on the goal, which means that he is now tied in shots for defenseman all time in LA Kings franchise history. So congratulations, Drew. Norris Trophy time yet? So the Kings get to keep their lead for about 10 minutes. And with a minute and 40 seconds left in the second period, Quick is screened, can't see the puck, and it gets past him. And so we end 2 completely dominating periods with a tie, 1-1. And so the third is going to be the decider. And the Kings are statistically a third period team. They're completely amazing at comebacks. They're amazing at keeping a lead. And so the third period, we're thinking it's going to be maybe similar to the way the game's been. We'll outshoot them, but we'll win. Except it was similar to the way the other 2 games have gone, where we outshot them and still managed to find a way to lose. 15 seconds into the third period, they get the go-ahead goal. 15 seconds. And then less than 2 minutes later, it's the exact same play almost, and they're up 3-1. And the Kings just lost their mojo. They didn't have the chemistry that they had in the first 2, and they're just not connecting as well, and they're not getting as many dangerous shots off. And so Pavlik doesn't have to be as good. And it's just a train wreck of a third period. They finally get to pull Quick with a couple minutes to go, and the Jets score on the empty nets because one of the Jets is left wide open, and the puck was on his side of the ice. And it wasn't even hard for him to get it. There was a pass, and he was the one that ended up with the pass. So it was not the way the Kings wanted to end the game or the road trip. They come home in a couple of days. They play Edmonton on Saturday, which, being Edmonton, should be a pretty easy game, right? Except the last 3 games should have been pretty easy, with maybe the exception of Nashville, because that was coming off of 4 very hard-won games against really good teams. I don't know, maybe having Chris Sutter in the building and all of their fans to rally around them, maybe that's going to be good for them. I am hoping, because I had that divisional lead in my sights and I want to keep it. The Ducks they lost, but they lost in overtime, so they are now only 1 point behind us in the standings. It looks like 3, but they have a game in hand. So it's getting down to the wire. There's, I want to say, 9 or 10 games left, about 2 weeks, and then we get to the good stuff. So maybe that's what the Kings are doing. They're saving all of their good stuffs for the playoffs, and if that's what's happening, I'm cool with it. If not, either way, I'm telling you, I do not want to be on the plane or on the bus with Daryl Sutter after the end of this game. Here's hoping.